Welcome, deep divers. Imagine trying to figure out how a whole city works just by looking at, like, one brick at a time. Today, we're going beyond just the bricks of life. We're looking at how they're put together, taken apart to build everything, from tiny bacteria right up to giant whales. It's kind of the secret language of life's construction sites we're talking about, macromolecules. We're going to peel back the layers a bit and really get what these crucial molecules are and, maybe more importantly, how they actually work. Because their inner workings are, well, pretty surprising. We've really dug into some fascinating sources for this conversation today, pulled out some key insights, and honestly, a few facts that might bend your mind a little. It should give you a real shortcut to getting up to speed on this really fundamental topic. So where do we even start with understanding these vital components?
That's a great question because honestly, it's hard to overstate just how important they are. Macromolecules are really the workhorses inside the cell. They're the essential bits for, well, all living things. They dictate structure, function, how things work, how chemical reactions happen, everything. And when we talk about these key players, we're mainly looking at four big groups. You've got carbohydrates, proteins, fats, which you'll also hear called lipids, and nucleic acids.
Okay, four big groups, and we're talking large molecules. I'm still kind of picturing that molecular Lego set idea. But unlike my kids' Legos, do these life bricks have specific ways they must connect? Is it rigid, or is there some flexibility in how these massive molecules get built? What are the actual building blocks?
You know that Lego analogy?
Yeah.
It's actually perfect for getting the main idea.
Yeah.
But you've hit on something important there. At the heart of it, yeah, we have things called monomers and polymers.
Yeah.
So a monomer, think of it as just a small molecule. It's the basic building block, and it's set up to chemically bond with others like it. A polymer, then, is the bigger things. It's a large molecule, basically these long chains or sometimes networks, just made up of those repeating monomer units. So, yeah, the analogy holds. Monomers are the individual bricks. Polymers are the cool structures you build. And it seems simple, but this idea allows for just incredible biological complexity.
Okay, that makes it super clear. The Lego bricks and the final castle. So for those big four, you mentioned carbs, proteins, nucleic acids, lipids. What are the specific bricks for each one? Do they all use that same snap together monomer polymer rule?
Excellent question. Mostly yes, but there's one interesting exception we need to talk about. So first, carbohydrates. Their monomers, the building blocks, are called monosaccharides.
Monosaccharides, okay,
Yeah.
like single sugars.
Exactly. Single sugar units. Glucose is a famous one, for energy. But don't let simple fool you. You link these same monosaccharides together differently. And you can get something like starch, which stores energy, or cellulose, which makes plant walls super rigid, or even chitin, like in bug shells.
Wow. Okay, so same brick, different builds, fuel or armor. That's cool.
It really is. Then you have proteins. The monomers here are amino acids.
Amino acids, right. Heard of those.
Yeah, and there are typically 20 common types used by life. Just 20. But the way you string them together, the sequence, lets proteins do almost everything. They can be structural, like your hair, or enzymes speeding up reactions, or antibodies fighting off germs. Just immense diversity from those 20 building blocks. It's quite incredible.
A whole universe of functions from just 20 pieces. Okay, what about the next one?
Nucleic acids. That's your DNA and RNA. Their monomers are called nucleotides.
Nucleotides. Got it. These are the information carriers.
Precisely. They hold a genetic code, like tiny digital bits storing instructions. And then the last one, lipids, fats and oils. Now, lipids are the interesting outlier here, and this is important to remember. They are not strictly polymers in the same way as the others.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, instead of being long chains of identical repeating units, lipids are a more varied group. They often involve components like fatty acids and glycerol. They definitely form large, crucial molecular structures like energy storage, cell membranes, hormones, but they just don't fit that clean monomer repeating into a polymer definition quite like carbs, proteins, and nucleic acids do. It's a bit more varied.
Okay, that distinction for lipids is really helpful, actually. It shows how life uses different strategies, even at this basic level. So we know the pieces now, monomers mostly. How do our bodies, or, any living thing, actually build the polymers from them? And just as key, how do they take them apart again when needed? You mentioned a kind of chemical dance. What does that look like?
It absolutely is a dance. And it centers on two really fundamental, almost elegant chemical processes. The first one, for building things up, is called dehydration synthesis.
Dehydration, so taking water out.
Exactly. It's the process where two molecules, usually monomers, chemically combine to form a larger molecule, the polymer. And the key part, like you said, is that a water molecule is released or removed in the process. That removal allows a strong covalent bond to form between the monomers, linking them together.
Huh, so you literally squeeze out water to stick the bricks together. That's neat. Okay, so how do we break them apart then? Add the water back in.
Precisely. You got it. The opposite process is called hydrolysis.
Hydrowater lysis splitting.
Perfect. Yeah. Hydrolysis is a chemical reaction where you use a water molecule to break a bond within a larger molecule. So water is added across the bond, and it effectively split the larger molecule back into its smaller components, often back into the original monomers.
So like when I eat food, my digestion is basically using water to chop up those big polymers, proteins, carbs back into amino acids and sugars.
That's exactly what's happening. Your digestive system is performing hydrolysis constantly. It's like adding water to disassemble the structures.
Wow,
Wow.
that's actually quite elegant. Water is involved in both building and breaking.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these two reactions, dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis, they aren't just abstract chemistry. They're absolutely fundamental to all life. Our bodies, every living cell, is constantly running these reactions, building up what's needed, breaking down fuel, recycling components, all driven by this clever chemistry involving water.
And just like that, I feel like we've really unpacked it. You get a much clearer picture of those four major macromolecules: carbs, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. And importantly, those two key processes: dehydration synthesis for building, hydrolysis for breaking down. It makes the chemistry feel much more accessible. We hope this deep dive has given you that shortcut, that foundational grasp of life's essential building blocks and the chemical ballet they perform.
Absolutely. And it leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? Yeah, this raises an important question. When you consider the relative simplicity of these individual monomers and these two quite elegant chemical reactions, add water, remove water, what does that tell you about the sheer level of sophistication and precise control that must be required to organize all of that, to orchestrate it into the incredible complexity of even a single living cell, let alone a whole organism?
That is a fantastic thought to chew on, the jump from simple chemistry to complex life. Incredible. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the very chemistry that makes life possible.